think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
Welcome to MojoPlays, and whether we like it or not, a live-action Zelda movie is in the works with Nintendo and Sony Pictures. So today, we're going over elements that should be included for the adaptation to be as good as it can be.
I will crush any opposition. I will rule. That is what a king must do.
Before we begin, we publish new content all week long, so be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Koji Kondo. Let's start with one that is both likely and obvious. There isn't a Zelda fan in the world who wouldn't love Koji Kondo to work on the movie's score. While he hasn't composed every Zelda game, he did build the foundation and give us some of the franchise's most well-known tunes. We say this request seems likely because he did help compose the soundtrack for the Super Mario Bros. Movie, and one of that movie's highlights was hearing orchestral versions of those songs.
Chantrell! Nice to see you, bud!
Does this thing work?
Yes, we're great.
But for the love of Hylia, please let the soundtrack be entirely orchestral. It will completely take us out of the world and tone if Link is fighting monsters alongside radio hits. Shoot on location. Plenty of Hollywood blockbusters utilize green screens and other methods to create fictional worlds. We're not here to tell you whether they look good or bad, but it seems on-location shooting would be the best fit for a Zelda movie. Large-scale fantasy epics like the Lord of the Rings movies, or even TV shows like Game of Thrones, have drastically benefited from shooting in real places around the globe. Zelda is all about venturing into wide worlds and discovering the unknown, and we're sure there are boundless possibilities to choose from when it comes to replicating Hyrule.
It is a strange fate that we should suffer so much fear and doubt over so small a thing.
Practical dungeons. Shooting on location will be wonderful for establishing the world of Hyrule, but if our hero ends up venturing into some dungeons, those environments might need to be fabricated. We hope there aren't too many MacGuffins Link has to track down, as that type of format works much better in games than it does movies. When it comes to dungeons, though, the more practical effects you can get in there, the better. We want traps and puzzles and monsters, but we also want to feel that Link is in actual danger. We're not looking for entire recreations of what we've played through. That would be impossible. But we do want the filmmakers to replicate their atmospheres. An accurate Link. Now, we're not saying Link shouldn't talk. He still speaks in many of the games, even if we don't hear him. However, if the movie version of him is a confident, wisecracking hero, that just won't be Link. He should still be reserved and introverted, similar to how the Breath of the Wild version keeps quiet specifically because of the daunting task at hand. We think that's the most important detail to get right, but there are some other elements that would be nice bonuses. Link is a short king after all, and before motion controls changed it, he was one of gaming's only left-handed protagonists. Make Zelda the companion. Simply put, if they didn't have Bowser kidnap Peach immediately in the Mario movie, Zelda shouldn't be held captive in this one. Given the family-friendly nature of Nintendo, we're sure there will still be some kind of silly side character that goes on the adventure with Link. Maybe even Navi. However, a film would be so much better served if Princess Zelda is there too. She's the namesake of the series, and could offer some exposition and world building for Hyrule's lore. But she would also play a vital part if they choose to make Link a quieter character.
Is it possible? Do these murals depict the same legend?
Unknown actors.
What about the accents? Is it too much?
Too much? It's perfect!
Yes, we've seen the 1 billion Tom Holland memes. Unfortunately, we wouldn't put it past Sony Pictures, or even Nintendo, to cast someone like him. There are many cases of actors feeling miscast simply because audiences know it's an A-list celebrity rather than a character they're watching. Again, we look to Game of Thrones. Most of the show's actors were relatively unknown at the beginning, and yet flawlessly fit into the roles they were assigned. The same should be the case for Link and Zelda to maintain that illusion of being whisked away on an adventure. Also, if they skewed younger to fit the franchise's coming-of-age elements, that would be even better. Moap Races.
I see everything.
One thing that worried us upon hearing the movie would be live action was how races like the Gorons and Zoras might look. But there's a solution for this, and it's already built into director Wes Ball's filmography: motion capture. Ball helmed the Maze Runner trilogy, but his next movie is 2024's Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, an entry in a franchise that has perfected mocap acting. While using this method doesn't guarantee the designs of magical races wouldn't look odd, it would allow much greater depth for making them look believable and for getting a good performance.
I'm counting on you to protect our beloved home from harm. Understood?
Ganondorf. While there are other villains in the series, it seems unlikely the movie would go for anyone other than the franchise's BBEG. Usually, that's the monstrous boar Ganon, but that would make for a pretty boring movie villain. So, we'd bet money that his human form, Ganondorf, will be the primary antagonist. However, a transformation into his beast form seems like a no-brainer climax moment. While the games have touched on his motivations a little bit, the movie would hopefully give him more screen time and characterization. Hey, even Jack Black's Bowser had more depth than what we get in the games. Likewise, there's room to expand here.
Regardless, I will reshape this world as it was meant to be. I will crush any opposition. I will rule.
The lore. As any Zelda fan will tell you, the series is light on plot, but heavy on lore. In fact, some games have their own lore that's never touched on in other games. When it comes to what to include in the movie, we'd suggest keeping things light. Nintendo and Sony wouldn't want to risk alienating viewers who have never played the games, or even those who have only experienced them casually. Plus, such giant exposition dumps would only make a 2-hour runtime messy. We'd love to see the story of the Golden Goddesses and the Triforce on the big screen. And we'll probably get something on Link being a reincarnated hero. But as far as everything else is concerned, leave it for the sequels. If we get any. An original story. One of the biggest conversations on the internet since the movie's announcement, other than fan uproar about it being made in the first place, is about which of the mini-games it should adapt. Some have argued for Skyward Sword as it is the chronological first, while others have argued for a more traditional and beloved entry like Ocarina of Time. But honestly, we think Nintendo should adapt none of them. If it's based on a single game, fans will have more expectations than they already do. But if you create an original story and just fill it with elements and references to the source material, then it will help the movie stand on its own 2 feet. What are you hoping to see most in the Legend of Zelda movie? Let us know in the comments, and be sure to subscribe for more great Zelda videos.
I'd like to thank you for joining me here today, and for your bravery in accepting this fateful task.
Check out these other great clips from MojoPlays, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.